Alright, so far we set up this web application using create React app. So we have to change this according to what we actually want to do, because this only offers you the structure and pretty much just sets up everything so you can start coding a React application right away. So what I want to do is actually open this project, so the JS folder that we have. And in fact, you can see that right here, it says that the application is running on port 3000 localhost. And if I cancel this, so if I go back and then refresh, you can see that it's not working, right? So if you want to start the server again, simply type the same command, yarn start, and this will start the server. There we go. So for this React application, I'm going to be using this awesome IDE called VS Code. And I highly recommend you to use this IDE because it's by far one of the best IDEs for web development. So go ahead and download. It's available for both Windows and Mac users. So let me go ahead and open up VS Code. So VS Code. And then if I put this full screen, so what I'm going to do is actually go on File and then Open and then navigate to Desktop. And please do not open this demo folder, right? So inside of it, remember, we have source and then JS. So we want to open this JavaScript folder, right? So if you open demo, it will pull everything, including Java code. But with Java, so the backend, we want to use IntelliJ, right? So IntelliJ, the community edition, it's really, really great just for server side. So if you want to use it for web development, you should be using the Ultimate Edition. So IntelliJ Ultimate Edition, but that costs money. So VS Code also is way better than IntelliJ Ultimate Edition for web development. So go ahead and open up this JS folder with VS Code. And there we go. So let me just walk you through the actual file structure so you understand exactly what's going on. So right here, so in this JS folder, you have a few things. You have the node modules. So this is where all the modules for this project live, right? And then you have the public folder. So this is where the favicon is, as well as the index.html. So if I open up index.html, you can see that it simply contains the actual title and then a div. And this div is what React uses to mount the React application inside. So you also have manifest.json, which you shouldn't worry about. But if I close the public folder, you have source. So source, or actually, let me first explain the package.json. So you see that we have a package.json. So basically, this is where you configure some metadata, right? So you can specify the dependencies. So far, we only have 3 dependencies. And then these are the scripts. So remember when you said yarn and then start, this was the actual script that ran internally, right? So this one right here. And then you can say build, test, and eject. So you've seen those. So basically, we're going to be using this later on to modify a few things. But for now, just know that we simply have a few things going on. So we have dependencies as well as some scripts, nothing else. Then you have the README and then the yarn log. So this makes sure to log all the dependencies that you have so that when you install this package.json in some other server, the dependencies are locked down. So finally, go ahead and open up the src, so this source folder, and basically this contains a few things. So it contains the app.css, app.js, some tests, and then you have the index.js and then index.css, right? So if I open up the index.js, so index.js, you can see that this simply uses React and then renders the actual application, right? And then it gets the root div. So this is the root that I was saying, and then it mounts this component right here, right? So if I now open up the app component, so open up app, you can see that it's nothing else but a simple React component. So it simply has a div and then a header and then an image with a logo. And then you can see that this is a a link right here that says Learn React, and that's it, right? So if I was to actually remove everything from here, so pretty much just remove everything and simply say return, and then let's go ahead and return an H1, right? So we're going to return an H1, and then let's simply say hello, and then world Spring Boot and React, right? So now if I save this, right? So the cool thing about this is that I don't have to restart my server. So this is actually using a live server, which picks up any changes that you make on your source code, and then it restarts the web browser for us. So if I go ahead and open up Chrome, you can see that we have Hello World with Spring Boot and React. So if I pretty much just remove, for example, React, save this, you can see that did update immediately. So that's awesome. So let me go ahead and revert that, save that. And also you have the app.test.js. So this is mainly for writing unit tests, so testing your components. And then you have some service worker, which is literally out of scope of this course, but we're not going to be touching this file at all. So if I close this, and this is everything we need for this course. So we've set up the backend using Spring Boot, as well as the front end using React. Now we simply have to connect the two together.